Hello, Richard here with your yearly dose of advice, and we'll be starting it off with a question. The question is, if you could not fail, what would you do? I bring this question into the conversation because many people, before making a decision or a choice, tend to ponder and think about the consequences that might come if they get a no, or if they get rejected, or if they fail, which does have a chance in happening normally since it's life. And thinking about failing causes many to fear or become afraid of the choice itself, which leads May to pick a third choice, which is not to pick and to just simply let the opportunity pass by. While being the most popular choice and also the safest, it's also the choice that leads a lot of people to start thinking, what if? What if I would have done this? What if I would have done that differently? What if I would have taken my chances and what would the results have been? This is a question one starts asking oneself when the third choice is picked, because not choosing can lead one to start regretting their decision of playing it safe. Well, it's not bad to think and prepare for the worst, but what is letting that fear control your decision making and actions. To put this into perspective, an average person makes around 35,000 decisions a day. For example, from what clothes you're going to wear to what you're going to do that day, like your schedule. That's a lot of decisions, which means a great number of those decisions probably have lasting effects on your life. So it seems a bit mind boggling to think that the fear of making a decision is prevalent since we make so many a day. So, following back to my original question of this video, if you could not fail, what would you do? I would like us all to do a small exercise real quick where we all pretend for a moment that anything we ask or what we want to do will result in an outcome that we most wish for or most benefits us. Now, if we knew this information, what actions would we take? Well, of course, normally one would probably start thinking about how to take advantage of the situation or advantage of the advantage to either gather money, materialistic things, or experiences, since you know that there is no risk and no way for you to get rejected, etc. Now, I would like to focus specifically on how this situation can be connected to a scenario. For our scenario, let's say that we are college students who want to get a certain degree, but you see that the classes are very challenging and very difficult. But because we are still pretending that we cannot fail, we go ahead and completely avoid that third option I was mentioning and make a choice that would normally have some sort of consequences if you were to fail. But since we know that we will get the outcome we want, we don't get caught up on what the consequences might be and make the choice that we most want, since we aren't overthinking it and we aren't overcomplicating things. The reasoning for having you pretend and making up a scenario was to introduce a new way of thinking where you oversimplify things so you don't overstress yourself and when you can better understand what you really want, because most times we lose opportunities and experiences by taking that third choice and never going out of our way to pick something that isn't the safest option. Now, referring back to a scenario without the pretending, let's say that you go and decide to take those classes to get that degree, but towards the end, you realize that you were just not cut out for those classes and you have to drop out because you were doing very poorly, which is perfectly fine since you are now able to focus and concentrate on your next venture, which was something that you were able to find out while taking that class because you were able to see that you were not cut out for something that you wanted, and now you're able to focus on something else while not having to regret not taking that step and not taking that decision of finding that out. Since if you were to just go to a different degree straight away without even trying, you would have had to keep asking yourself, what if you would have done it? What if you would have taken those classes and taken that degree? But since you were able to take up on the opportunity and not pass it up, you were able to learn something more about yourself and about what you want. Now, sorry, but I did misguide you a bit purposely with my original question in the beginning, which was, if you could not fail, what would you do? I believe that you are always succeeding. You might ask why? Well, because even if you think you are failing, you're actually learning something about that experience, which will help you out later if a similar situation happens to you. So, technically, all supposedly failures are just practice runs until you actually succeed. Runs that you had. Well, I'ma call that a wrap. Thank you for listening to my fake TED Talk.